Alright, so when I left off the last time, I had glued the spider and coil assembly at the top, and I had let it sit for, about 10 minutes. And then I unclamped it and I pulled it out and I glued the bottom. And then, you know, once that's, set up for about 10 minutes, I went ahead and put my bead around the bottom again and then up around the top again. And it's fully set up now. What I did is I shimmed it back in place and I put my cone on it because when you put, your glue bead, when it sits down on that triple joint, you still want to make sure that the cone is still going to sit flat. Sometimes it may not, and you may have to put it up here like this and then mark where the leads come out and then snip out a little. So that's what I was just checking on. Like it's pretty much sets flat. Like you can see it moves just a little, and that's because I just need, if I pull up on all the leads, it sits right down. If you could, you can't see in here, but like, I mean, it sits right down. Like I said, it leaves just a minimal amount. The only thing it is holding it up is just I need to pull the leads up tighter. So anyways, that's the cone that's going on it. And I wanted to show you guys something. I should have went over it before. Um, Tell you guys about this. So um, if you have baskets, like even if you buy new ones and you don't use spider adapters in them, there's holes, there's threaded holes, that's drilled and tapped. And what I always could do is go back and underneath, like where those holes are, if I'm not reusing them, is I put a piece of tape to keep, for when you put glue on this, from dripping down through the hole. I mean, if you can see this one here, luckily on this basket, just to show you guys real quick, on this basket there's a hole here, and then there's a hole here. But the only two that I have to cover up is where the push terminals are. It's in between the positive and negative of the push terminals opposingly. I just need to put a piece of tape under those. All of these other holes that are drilled and tapped are into the fin, into the casting of the basket, so it's not going to leak out. So, you know, that's just a helpful tip, because really, when you put that on there, a lot of times, if you don't cover up the holes from the bottom, you'll get glue will drip down like on the top plate, and then sometimes it can be hard to get off. With these being polished, if it had dripped on there, if I had forgotten to do this, I could have just took like a razor blade and just picked it and it would have popped right off. But those that are like powder coated or painted, it may be harder to get it off sometimes, and when you try to pick it off, you'll pull the top coat off. So anyways, so I've got this all done now. It's got from the first rib valley here up to the coil. It's a solid bead, and then on the bottom, it's completely glued all the way around on the bottom now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wipe all of this surface down again with alcohol, and then I'm going to mix up some epoxy and put a generous bead in here of epoxy, and then I'm going to set my coil assembly in place, and then I'm going to clamp it down. So I'll do that on my next video. The next video I upload will show that. But I just wanted to make this one real quick beforehand. Just as a tip, if they have holes in them and they go all the way through the basket, then if you don't not going to use a spider adapter that's going to bolt in, what you want to do is just you use a piece of tape and cover it from the bottom, and that way your glue doesn't run down through there and, like I said, get on the motor and stuff. So we'll go ahead and get my epoxy and stuff back out, and mix them up, and we'll get it put on here and the coil assembly put into place.